Number 1 is the infinity room. So what you have to do is you have to make a big area of completely white blocks, in this case snow blocks, and take a map, fill it in with those blocks, and what you'll get is this white map here. If you take this over to some item frames placed on top of light source blocks, you'll get this cool optical illusion where you can't see anything or make out any sort of distance. Now, if you take a whole room full of this with item frames on the side, ceiling, and floor, you get this really cool effect of not actually knowing where you are or what direction you're facing, or, and most importantly, how to get out. For number 2, we have this really cool trick where you can actually just kind of face through the floor. What you have to do is get an upwards facing shulker box of any color, not just gray, and have a block above your head, stand on the shulker box and open it, and you'll fall straight through. Number 3 is a cool invisible door that you can have really anywhere. All you need is a block above your head, and a carpet, and a fence gate, which is what makes this whole thing work. It's because when it's closed, a fence gate is technically 1.5 blocks tall, which means you can't go through it unless you're sneaking. But once it's open, you can just go straight through because it doesn't actually count as a block. Number 4 is another cool little fence gate trick. As you can see, normally you wouldn't be able to jump 1.5 blocks. But you turn off that lever, you can, because the fence gate under here is propelling you 1/2 block upward, and the rest is just a normal jump. You can turn it off to keep the pesky villagers from coming into your pillar. For number 5, we have some alternate methods of breaking your fall. So you probably know about the MLG water bucket, but you can also break your fall with honey blocks, hay bales, and beds, which all reduce the amount of damage taken from a fall. For number 6, we can take advantage of one of the characteristics of honey blocks and hide them using carpets, which is that you can't actually jump a full block when you're standing on honey. No mobs can get out of this little area because of the full blocks around it, and that is useful for in case you want to like make villager areas, but you don't want to just trap them in a jail cell. For number 7, we have a little contraption with variety of uses, which is the slime block or honey block flying machines. You can make it just like this. You can make a flying machine just like this with an observer here and an observer here. Switching out the slime blocks for honey blocks will have the exact same result, and all you need to do is trigger this observer here and it'll be on its way. These are multi-directional, so depending on which observer you trigger, it'll go a different way. These can be used for transport or just, I mean, they look cool, don't they? For number 8, we have an armor equipping station. This is all it is, it's really small, with 4 dispensers pointed at you, all filled with one type of armor. You activate them, and they put the armor straight onto you, and you just walk off. It's very fast, very efficient, and very useful. Another very useful feature to know, if you want to protect your villagers, you can actually equip armor on them using the armor equipping station. You won't be able to see it, but this villager is actually wearing full netherite armor now. Let's test it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits to kill, while a normal villager only takes 2. So, up next, for number 10, we have a way to break bedrock. So, just in case you want to get from the ceiling of the nether back into the normal nether world, for fast travel in between dimensions, we can punch a hole in the nether using a setup like this. And what you have to do is get into a crawling state, click the lever, go over to this side of the block, and spam right click on the corner of the block here. You have to get the timings just right, so it is a bit finicky. Didn't work this time. Let's try it again. And it worked. So as you can see, we've punched a hole in the nether ceiling, or what represents the nether ceiling anyway. Another really useful thing to know, especially when making an automatic mob farm, is that lava does twice as much damage per second as a soul campfire, which does twice as much damage per second as a regular campfire. Let's demonstrate this. A creative only feature that you can get by commands is the debug stick. The debug stick can be used to edit block states, which can lead to a variety of interesting things that you wouldn't normally see. It can fill cauldrons, it can edit the direction of pistons, and create some weird looking blocks. It can permanently light furnaces, and you can use it to edit things like flowers to make something that looks like bamboo. For number 13, you've probably heard of name tags like Jeb underscore or Dinnerbone, but some other things you can name entities are Toast for a rabbit, which changes it to this color scheme. Grum for any mob, which does the same thing as Dinnerbone, puts them upside down. And for Vindicators, you can name them Johnny, which causes them to attack anything. I suppose this could be useful on, say, an automatic mob farm of some sorts. Another feature that you can use in a mob farm is entity cramming. Basically, if you put a bunch of minecarts in a small area, just one block, any entity that comes in there will get crammed and take damage. Last but not least, we have number 15, which is the fact that in Peaceful, TNT does not give the player any damage, which means you can make something like this with a bunch of dispensers filled with TNT. Just ignite it all, put it right underneath you, and we get launched up in the sky. Take no damage from the TNT. Unfortunately, you still take it on the way back down. Well, that was the whole video. Thank you for watching till the end, and I'll see you another time.